I finished stripping all three sides, gave it a light sanding, and what I'm doing now is putting on some coats of shellac. I'm doing that to fill in any pores in the grain, any imperfections and so on. After each coat, I'm giving it a sanding of a 220 grit sandpaper with a good sanding block that's nice and flat and hard and level. The idea is to keep doing this until you get the surface as flawless as you can before moving on to the stain. This side and the top are pretty darn good before I even started, but not surprisingly the side that I had the damage is a little bit rougher. I think another 3 or 4 coats of this, sanding in between, and I'll be ready for stain. I finished doing my coats of shellac and sanding. This is pretty darn smooth right now. 1 or 2 dings here and there, but I'm not worried about that. So now it's time for staining. I'm using a mid-wax red mahogany. I'll put on a foam applicator. I've already mixed up the stain well. You could also just put this on with a rag, dip it in the rag and wipe it on, but I think this is a lot easier. I'm going to put on 1 light coat and see how it looks. Maybe put on a 2nd coat. So basically I put this on, wait about 5 minutes, and then I'll wipe it off with a clean cloth. Well, that turned out just great. I let it dry about 5 minutes and then I wiped it off with a rag, and I'm really happy with the result. I don't see any need to put a 2nd coat on. This is an oil-based stain, so I'll have to wait a few days for it to really dry out good before I put the final finish on. For that, I am going to use some Deft gloss lacquer. I did some tests with this earlier in the week, and came out real nice. I really like the nozzle on this. It's what they call a fan spray. It puts out a really nice, wide, even mist. And goes on really fast and dries pretty quick too, so probably in 1 day I can finish this thing off. But before that, gotta wait for the stain to dry. That's all for tonight.